Tension! Tension! Tension is the one thing that gets people to buy. If you think about it, if you're in B2B SaaS and you're selling to another company, why do people buy? Because they have tension, because they've tried everything and they're at their wits' end and they need a better solution. And that's where you come in. So here is the question. If you know the tension, and it's hard to find, but if you know the tension, can you reverse into the data sources and reverse into the message? That's what you're going to get on this video today, and it's a preview of the Cannonball go-to-market. Friday, 9 a.m. live, we're going to show this to you, but I'm going to give you a little preview, and then I'm going to give you a prompt. Preview and a prompt. I'm going to try to give you a prompt for every damn video that I make as best I can. But you're going to have to commit to register for the Cannonball go-to-market on Friday, at where we will drop this prompt. So it's a 2-day wait. The prompt has to bake for you, but I'm going to make it right now so you can see the process. Let's dive in. All right. So we're just going to do this for CS Disco. Let me tell you a little bit about CS Disco. It is you got to cut through all this noise here, but really the interesting thing is e-discovery. So one of the things that CS Disco does is that if you're doing discovery as basically you'll get a lawsuit and say, we need all your emails, we need all your phone records, we need all your, well, that discovery, it turns out, can dramatically balloon. So, for example, they're like, we need all your emails. You're like, great, I'll send all your emails. But it turns out there's attachments. Now, right now, people are paying lawyers to go through that. And the lawyers are saying, okay, great, it's 100 gigabytes of data. Well, it turns out once you get into it and you unpack everything, it's a terabyte of data. And so costs go out of control. eDisco or CS Disco fixes that. So what's the tension here? So basically, companies facing substantial lawsuits in industries where litigation is infrequent and discovery cost ballooning due to the multiplication of electronic records. So let's go ahead and create a new chat with Gemini. It's it's the model I've been flirting with a lot recently. All right. What I want you to do is go to this website and understand everything about their e-discovery product and specifically who needs it and why they need it. Just give a really good understanding of their ICP persona and everything possible about the exact moment that people might be in this situation. All right. I always like to start by warming up the model. It just needs a little bit of context about who you are and what you're about. And then I'm going to paste in the sort of human insight here. All right. I have a kind of two concepts in my head. Companies that are facing substantial lawsuits in industries where litigation is infrequent, and specifically where discovery costs are ballooning due to the multiplication of electronic records. So what I'm really trying to understand is who are the companies that are in the most tension right now? We're just it's really, really, really hard for where basically they have lawsuits where there is gigantic ballooning of discovery costs, and they haven't gone through this so many times that they've needed to solve this problem. So what I want you to do is, if I were to try to do this publicly to find out how to identify this tension, what would I look for? How would I look for it? How would I be able to determine this publicly? Tell me the exact step-by-step way that I can use public data sources or even paid data sources to be able to find this. They must have either an API or I must be able to scrape them. Go do your duty to your school. Always a little Harry Potter at the end. Great. Improving efficiency, growing data volumes. This was the one. This was the one. Synthesizing step by step. I wonder if it's actually searching the web. Oh, it is. Use Google search. Query. It is really great to work with a model that has Google search built in. Okay. Yeah, okay, great. It's I don't know. State and their site mentioned enterprise API, industry, okay. Focuses on state trial court. They also appear to have data access, particularly including APIs. This is cool. Yeah, it's okay if we have to pay. Oh yeah, Pacer. This is the one that we found. Federal court raw bulk access cumbersome, potentially costly. I actually think that this is not. It's not crazy expensive. Uh, oh, oh yeah, this might be really interesting with the SEC API. Yeah, proxies. Okay, approach and filings. Yes, mentions of large data volumes, terabytes, petabytes. Yes, over the scope. Disputes specifically over the scope of cost of e-discovery. That's interesting. Oh yeah, so they basically talked about like, oh, Slack, like actually there's so much data there, it's like really hard. Ephemeral messaging, electronically stored information, preservation, collecting. This is really cool. AI can totally do this. This is amazing. Okay, great. Let's go see if like, okay, can you assume that you can basically create some targeted fake data that is like based on example real data, and then go tell me, like, say, here's all the raw data that basically mentions people that are like this. And by the way, you can just reason about the best industry here. You don't have to search it. So, like, what are cases uh, where companies don't get sued a lot, but they have enough suits so that when I notice them, they're like really key. So can you now actually create, what I want you to do is I want you to create fake information that we would probably get from services like this based on what data we would get. And then once you have that, go ahead and synthesize that information. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to basically communicate a situation of tension to someone, and also communicate my value prop. So part of my value prop here is that if you are in this discovery process and you're at a company, your outside counsel is going to charge you a lot of money to go through this. So you basically can then go calculate the amount of likely ballooning. AI can do this, and then calculate the like amount of money that the lawyers will charge. So the sudden shock in the bill. So can you go create fake data, then like tell me how you think about stitching it together, and then actually write a message for this one fictional company. And the message should be short and sweet. It should be no more than 3 sentences separated by a line breaks. That should be really data dense, and that should talk. The first sort of sentence should be about what we found in their data. The second sentence should be like the likelihood, like how much it will likely balloon in data and projected cost. And the third is just like a question like, hey, you should probably start seeing these costs balloon in X time. So when you make up the data, it should be like time relevant. Go ahead and do this for me now. So what we're going to do is once we're done, we're going to ask Gemini to reverse into this process so you have a prompt that will take you through this process step by step. I got that song. Lisa, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Lisa. It's a Simpsons. All right. Yep. Great. Specialized manufacturing. Okay. Okay. Uh, project, your initial irrelevant data volume could expand 3 to 5, potentially driving outside counsel review costs towards 5 million to 13 million. Are you anticipating these discovery costs to start significant within the next 3 to 6 months? This is great. We noticed the recent competitor antitrust filing and early docket discussions around ESI protocols and search terms. Our AI models, analytics, and simulating project an initial 15 terabytes of relevant data volume could expand 3 to 5x during discovery, potentially driving outside review costs towards 5 million to 13 million. I actually should probably lead with the brand prop here, but you can kind of see how like good this is getting, and all you now have to do is go pulling this data. It's not crazy. All right. All right, what I want you to do is I want you to create a meta process. So everything that we do, I want to be able to give someone a prompt that it will take their tension, it will identify data sources, then it will create like basically a fictional account of that data, but like it should be based on the real data, and then it will write a message like this. Can you create a gigantic mega ultra prompt that I can feed into a large language model that can take any sort of tension, any company, go find their ICP and persona, it'll have access to online, and then with their tension, go find data sources, identify how you can quantify that tension, and then walk through this process. This should be an ultra long mega prompt that anyone can use to direct a large language model to follow the steps just like I have done. And it should be rigorous and structured and follow all the best practices for a great single mega prompt. All right. We are going to give this prompt to you, so go ahead and register for the Cannonball this Friday, and we will give this prompt to you so that you can redo exactly everything that I just did for yourself, and it will make it into the Cannonball Substack, our paid version. Thank you so much for coming and watching. Thanks for watching my stuff. I hope that this was valuable to you. Adios.